My name is Dr. Peter Whelan. I'm an Associate Professor in Law at the School of Law at the University of Leeds, where I'm the Deputy Director of the Centre for Criminal Justice Studies. My research has been mainly focused on competition law, and in fact a very specific area of competition law, the enforcement of competition law through criminal sanctions. And what I mean by criminal sanctions is the use of imprisonment. One of the research questions that I'm very much interested in is how one can justify in principle the use of imprisonment as a sanction for cartel activity. Now that brings with it interesting questions regarding what sort of theory of criminalisation one should choose. But certainly we could look at the theory of deterrence, or we could look at the theory of retribution and try to apply either of those theories to the concept of a cartel. And in doing that, we can identify whether, for example, criminal cartel sanctions would be effective in stopping cartel activity going forward. And also we can identify the inherent immorality of the behaviour. And those sorts of questions and the answers that come with them can help us to determine whether in fact we should pursue a policy of cartel criminalisation within Europe. Well, traditionally within the European Union, cartel law has been enforced through administrative sanctions and not through criminal sanctions. So as a result of that, the development of criminal sanctions within the EU is a modern idea. And there are individuals and entities that are opposed to the idea. And one reason they might be opposed is because they don't see anything inherently wrong with the activity. That's questionable in my view, that position. I recently published a paper in the Oxford Journal of Legal Studies that analysed the moral wrongfulness of cartel activity and compared cartel activity to stealing, cheating and deception, and to see whether we could understand cartel activity in the context of looking at those particular norms. And I think there is a case to be made that cartel activity is not only serious in the sense that it actually has a major impact on the economy, but also it is wrong inherently. Well, I have to say what's very interesting for me is the idea of publishing my research, not just engaging in the research, not just learning new things and developing new theories, but actually publishing the research and getting it out there so the wider public can read it if they wish. I very much enjoy engaging with policymakers too. So, for example, I respond to consultations that arise in my subject areas. I've also, for example, given advice to policymakers. So I presented a report recently in Helsinki that was commissioned by the Ministry of Justice in Finland. So I enjoy doing things like that. I've also, for example, presented oral evidence to the Commerce Committee of the New Zealand Parliament on the topic of cartel criminalisation. So I like not only learning, reading, learning new things, but also creating publications that might be of use to the wider society. Going forward, we want to develop Leeds as a place where competition scholarship is done to the highest levels possible, and we are recruiting individuals in competition law and regulation more broadly. So we're very excited to be part of that, and we want to develop a research stream based around competition and regulation and a research stream that's relevant not just to academia but also to policymakers and practitioners. So we're trying to engage with those particular stakeholders too.